It all started when Antoine was just a little boy, spending weekends with his parents and brother at the seaside, suffering from knitted woolen trunks his mother had given him. It was then that the boy first began to think about himself as a man, and very quickly these thoughts bore fruit. Not far from the house where Antoine's family lived there was a barbershop, and the boy went there regularly, because he was in love with the salon's employee. The plump woman, who was not shy about unbuttoning the top buttons of her robe, attracted Antoine so much that he went even when there was nothing left to cut, just to spend a few cherished minutes in the chair. One day at dinner, the father asks his sons what they plan to do when they become adults. The eldest boy talks about the professions he has chosen, and Antoine declares he will be the husband of a hairdresser, for which he receives a slap from his parent and runs away into the room. Since then, the dream of marrying a hairdresser becomes the main thing in the boy's life and he cannot think of anything else. But this dream is not destined to come true. Once again coming for a haircut, Antoine is met by a closed door, behind which he sees a lush blonde sleeping. Suddenly, people gather at the hairdresser's and kick the door open and take the hairdresser out into the street. The woman has had too much to drink and has passed away. Many years pass and Antoine turns into an old gray-haired man who never had a family. One day he sees by chance that a new barbershop has opened in the city, and a nice young girl works there. Antoine enters the barbershop and asks to cut his hair, but Mathilde says that she is waiting for another client and can take the man only in an hour. Antoine hides behind the corner, watching the empty salon, where no one comes. After waiting for the allotted time, the old man comes and sits in the chair, remembering at once how he got his hair cut when he was a child. Mathilde begins to work, occasionally exchanging short phrases with the client and meticulously completing step by step. Suddenly Antoine seems to return from his flashbacks and suddenly proposes wedding to the girl without even knowing her name. Mathilde pauses only for a second and then continues to cut the hair without another word. Leaving, Antoine apologizes to the hairdresser for his insolence and stays the night under the window of the girl who lives directly above the salon. It is as if Antoine is returning to his childhood. He now goes to the hairdresser's every day, as he did then, cutting his already trimmed head. Mathilde is friendly and polite to the client, but they no longer talk during the haircut. One day Mathilde cannot stand it and goes back on Antoine's words herself. The girl tells him that if it was not a joke or a mockery, she is ready to accept his proposal. Antoine feels at this moment like the very boy whose dream has finally come true, and the couple immediately find themselves on the waiting couch, where they call each other their names, talk about their interests and make plans for their lives together. After learning that his son is marrying a hairdresser after all, his elderly father is not worried. His mother does not come to the wedding either, as a sign of solidarity with her deceased husband. The party is held right in the barbershop and only Antoine's brother, his wife, and his old friend attend. But the small number of guests does not stop the company from having fun. The brother gives Antoine a present that amuses everyone, knitted swimming trunks with pom-poms, just like they had when they were children, and from his mother he gives him a black and white picture of Antoine with his father. During a party, a random client walks into the barbershop and asks Mathilde to shave off his beard because people think he looks too dull with it. At first, seeing that he has come at a bad time, the customer wants to leave, but Mathilde is happy to do his hair without even charging him for it. When the bride fulfills the order, the situation does not change much. The client is still dejected and sad. Antoine turns on his favorite Indian music and asks his bride to dance, constantly looking at his watch and waiting for the guests to leave so they can finally be alone together. The couple's relationship could be called fabulous. After a short honeymoon on the coast, where Antoine spent his childhood, the newlyweds returned to the barbershop. Mathilde continued to cut hair, and Antoine spends all his free time next to his beautiful wife. On one ordinary day, an odd-looking man runs into the salon and jumps into a chair, as if trying to hide. His wife comes in after him and the couple has a very emotional scene, with slaps and hot looks. Everyone, including the offended husband, is delighted. Barely waiting for the end of the day, Antoine closes the door and presses his wife against the wall, where the couple have their joys. During the rejoicing, Mathilde repeats for the first time that she is very much afraid of the day when her husband will fall out of love with her or lose his attraction. A woman comes to the barbershop with a screaming boy who needs a haircut. The mother can't calm her son down, but Antoine finds a way to help him. He plays Indian music and dances so that the boy shuts up and lets him get his head in order. The woman, meanwhile, complains to Mathilde that the boy is adopted and she has already regretted her decision many times. The woman repeats several times that she does not advise the couple to make the same mistake. Antoine was in solidarity with her. He was glad that they have no children, no friends and close relatives, and all their time they can devote to each other and nothing will spoil the figure of his beautiful wife. Mathilde has repeatedly said that she is afraid that her husband will lose his attraction and interest in her. She sometimes asks Antoine to hold her so tightly that she cannot breathe. But the man does not understand where his wife's fears come from, for he never ceases to admire and desire her. One day he even takes advantage of the fact that the client to whom Mathilde washes her hair begins to doze off, and sitting down next to his wife Antoine removes everything superfluous from her and does pleasures with her, giving his wife positive emotions. In 10 years of life together, the couple quarrels only once, and that for some ridiculous reason. Left alone, Antoine smokes one after the other and remembers how he and his brother first tried cigarettes. But at night Mathilde comes for her husband and they reconcile, not wanting to waste time arguing. To finally make up, the couple throw themselves a party, and since there are absolutely no hot drinks in the house, they use lotions and cologne. The couple have such a great time that when the first customers arrive, they don't have time to clean up the salon or clean up their act. Antoine and Mathilde visit their friend in a nursing home, where a man who is much older than Antoine talks about the frailty of old age and how the relatives who visit him run away as soon as they show up. After the visit, the couple return to work and the day is no different from any other day, except that the girl seems a little mysterious. As soon as the last visitors leave the barbershop, there is a thunderstorm and heavy rain outside, making it almost impossible to see anything. To avoid wasting time, Mathilde gets rid of her extra clothes and demands pleasures from her husband. The couple again spend a close evening, but at one point the girl abruptly jumps up and runs out into the downpour, shouting to her husband that she needs to buy something for dinner. At the exit, she turns to Antoine and seems to be saying goodbye to him. When she reaches the embankment, where the downpour has caused the water to rise and rush, Mathilde does not hesitate to step over the fence. When her body is pulled out of the water, there is a note for Antoine in her pocket. In it, Mathilde explains her action. She wanted to leave before her husband's love and desire ended. She wants him to remember her young, beautiful and desirable. Nothing seems to change in Antoine's life. He still sits in the hairdresser's every day with a calm look. One day, a client comes to him, who is aware of the old man's misfortune, and just wants to support him. Antoine first offers to wash his hair, then he turns on his favorite Indian music and the two men dance together, but then the old man abruptly turns everything off and returns to his seat with his eyes fixed on a magazine. Looking up at the surprised visitor, Antoine tells him with a smile on his face that the hairdresser is about to come, you just have to wait a little while. With that, the movie ends. Friends, thanks for watching. Write in the comments below your thoughts about this movie. And please don't forget to support us by liking and subscribing.